we spoke to world and European champion Michal Orlowski about his feelings going into the TITC.
If it goes well, everyone will be surprised how well it went because it's our first time. If it doesn't go well, they'll say, oh, it's their first time, so it's okay.
That incident at EOS,
Their side of the story that I did on purpose, but to me, the clean racing, it's I value that a lot.
and his thoughts on the young drivers of today.
Change of generation in terms of skill off-road, I think, after COVID, and it's been just getting worse and worse.
Plus, how he approaches driving aggression on the track.
It's the driver's decision whether he wants to win at any cost, and it doesn't matter what the people watching and other competitors think of him, or he wants to be respected by the others but still try and win.
This was recorded just after the Mibo Sport Cup before Michal departed for Thailand on his way to win on his first attempt at the TITC.
Where's all the RC stuff?
No. I don't have a workshop like Jules has yet. So once I get a house, and I'll build a nice room for that. So maybe next year,
Nice.
another interview,
Okay.
and then we can do that. At the moment, it's in my old room, and it's all over the place. So
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to show this.
So this is, are you in Poland right now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Very nice.
Nice. Yeah, we could do like RC cribs. Like, you're too young to know MTV cribs. Yeah, he's too
Maybe.
young for that.
Maybe. Yeah.
MTV used to have a show called Cribs where they'd like go around a rapper's house and like go, oh, I've got this painting. It's like $500,000, etc.
Yeah.
I remember there was one.
Here's all my trophies and
Maybe
stuff.
with Neo Buggy with Lee. I think I watched it.
What up, Neo Buggy TV? Here's my crib.
Oh, I remember Phil did that.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm going to find that and watch that again. Anyway, how are you? When
good.
did you get home? Last night or
Last
this
night,
morning?
yeah,
or-
last night.
Okay.
How far away? I mean, it's in Mibo Sport was in Czech Republic, right?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
6-hour drive to Warsaw, so it's not too bad. I was with Daniel and Tris, so it went by quickly.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah,
you.
that's all right.
Got
And
you.
you didn't do off-road there.
No, the plan was to do all three, but then I looked on the entry list, and it's again off-road is basically 6 heats, so you're racing every 5 heats. So
yeah.
already doing 2 classes is really busy. And then I was so knackered after charity race, GP3F, ETS, EOS, because
Yeah.
for GP3F, ETS, EOS, I didn't go back home. So I was 3 weeks away. And then, so then I couldn't do all 3.
Yeah.
I thought if I do all 3, I will die or pass out at the,
Yeah, but you're
at the
working
race.
out in between and everything.
Yeah, you were at the gym.
No, so I did only one touring car. I thought it would be a little easier, just one class, but should have done buggy maybe.
How did it? I mean, obviously, it didn't go the way you wanted. What's your kind of summary of the event?
It's
you?
a nice event. It's 2.5 days, a lot of entries, quite unique with on-road and off-road at the same time. So people doing off-road, they can actually watch the touring car racing and vice
Oh,
versa.
wow. Okay. So it's not like ETS, EOS. It's
no,
the tracks are going at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's one track on one side of the driver's stand, another track on the other side. The driver's stand is quite wide, so people can drive at the same time, and it just goes at the same time. So it's 2 events in the same moment. So it's quite unique. Ronald was really strong. I struggled. I don't know with what exactly. I'm not sure. The beginning was quite close between me and Ronald, so I was hoping for a nice battle, but he just kept getting quicker. I think I messed up a little with tires and additives because it's open additive, so it's a little more difficult than like ETS when basically everyone is on the same. It just depends for how long you keep the additive. And at the end, the gap was quite big, but we'll bounce back, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You see Ronald's kind of he's struggled for a while, I feel like. Do you feel like he's getting a little bit stronger more recently? I don't know what you put that down to, maybe the developments that they're doing, or he's just more comfortable.
I mean, Ronald is, I think, 8-time ETS champion, so this shows how consistent he has been for many years in touring car, and how great of a driver he is. And then they had the MTC2R, I think, their previous car, which he was really quick with at the beginning of that car, but then quickly we came out with our prototypes. Some other key teams have caught up, and they fell behind. And yes, he has been struggling a little bit for the last few, maybe a year or something like that. But since the Worlds, they came out with the prototype car, and he has been very strong since then. And we know also from our experience, when you come out with a prototype car, you need to also learn about the setup, the way the car works. You need to set it up differently than in the past to the old version. So he has been getting stronger and stronger, and I don't think he ever lost. He knows how to drive. I don't think drivers lose from one race to another the ability to drive. In any motorsport, it's a connection between the driver and the machine. So even if you're the best driver on the grid, but you don't have the best car, you will never challenge for the win. You can do the best you can with what you've got, and it's a huge, the team plays a huge part, because even the driver plays a big part in the development of the car. He needs to give good feedback. He needs to take a look at the competition, what they're doing. So yeah, they've come out with a new car, or a prototype car, which is very strong, and we've been struggling to find improvements even in the setup for a long time. We were extremely strong last year, and since then we've been testing a lot, and I've been working so hard to try and find something new, but I keep coming back to what we used basically last year, and it's not good enough anymore. So, or not good enough at ETS. I was able to still win, but the gap was very close. So I know
you say it was very close. You won the ETS series, one event ahead. You've been hugely dominant.
Yes, we were dominant last year, I think, but towards the end of last year, there was a big gap since Eigen, I think. Luxembourg. Luxembourg was the last ETS last year, so it was in September. So it's been a few months, and in Apeldoorn was the first round. I had a very big gap. Then in Eigen, Bruno was there, and I was able to win with a comfortable margin, let's say. I was a little bit faster, and then Luxembourg, I had to hold off Mark and Lucas. In down, I had to hold off Ronald. So the gap has been coming down and being a lot smaller, and we saw this weekend how strong Ronald was. So we need to find something new.
Now, most of these drivers, I think all of the drivers that you just mentioned, are all basically only running touring car, and you're kind of maybe splitting focus. Do you think that has anything to do with it?
I wonder many times if maybe I should concentrate on one category, because you see, basically in the world of RC at the moment, it's only me and Bruno that used to race everything, basically. I raced a little more 12 scale. He raced a little more 8 scale, but it was because of the cars that our companies have at the moment. And we were the only ones racing multiple classes. There are many drivers trying to race a few more. So we have 8 skill drivers coming into 10 skill off-road. There is 12 skill drivers doing touring car, but no one really did 12 skill touring car, 10 skill off-road, and 8 skill buggy. Only me and Bruno. And I wonder many times if maybe I should concentrate on one. Maybe I'm at a disadvantage, and I'm very strong in all of these classes. But for example, I would like to win more than come second and third. Last year we've won a lot, but we didn't win all the races. So I wonder. But on the other hand, I really enjoy racing different classes, and I can't imagine not racing touring car or off-road. I also really enjoy 8 scale buggy. 12 scale I don't enjoy so much racing it, but I know it's good for my sponsors, and it's actually not that much, because 12 scale I race once or twice per year maximum. So the main issue is we put so much time and effort into touring car. 10 scale off-road, 8 scale is also extremely time consuming, and it's difficult to put it all together. But I like to be, my strive is to be the best in the world, and I think to do that I need to show how good I am and the cars are in all the categories, and if no one else can do that, then this really puts me on the map.
How difficult? I mean, we got the 10th Buggy Worlds coming up this year. Obviously the Touring Car Worlds was last year. How difficult is that to shift your focus from one whole category for every racing season?
It shifts with the worlds. I think if we have last year we had touring car worlds and we did a lot of touring car. This year we'll be doing more off-road. There is also the e-buggy 8 skill worlds we want to prepare for. I think many people ask me, is it not difficult to switch between categories? And I know that my driving style changes depending on what car I'm driving at the moment, but let's say after 2 batteries, I'm okay with it. So when we were at ETS and down, we went for 2 days to Switzerland. It was quite a bit of driving, because it's basically 500 kilometers each way, 5-hour drive. But just to do those few batteries really helps, because then we went into EOS and we had 3 rounds of 4-minute practice. So it's 12 minutes of getting to know the track.
Wow.
You need to set the car up for the track, and I would have to adjust my driving style. So it's really helpful, and by doing that it helps me get ready for the race. So it's not as difficult for me as people think it is to switch between cars, but it is really difficult to put it all together, all the testing trips. Like last year before the touring car worlds, I was at the Euros in Sweden, at 10 skill buggy Euros, and I came back home for 1 hour, and I jumped on the plane to California for 1 week of testing over
Wow.
there. And Bruno did exactly, or he arrived actually 1 day later than me, so I was quite proud that I beat him on that. I was 1 day more earlier in California. But this is the problem, that the drivers that, let's say, do only 10 skill off-road, they practice on carpet all season. They do some local racing, maybe some international races which I can't attend. And then we all meet in down, and I've just raced touring car for the last 3 weeks. And yes, I've done the testing beforehand. I put effort into 10 skill off-road on carpet during like New Year's, Christmas time. But I run with the 2 days in Switzerland before the race, and I did maybe 2 days in the off time, and that's it. Where the others, they spend weeks at the track and racing at the races. So this is a disadvantage, but as you saw at EOS, we were very strong. So
Absolutely.
I'm happy to continue this way, but maybe at some point it will be time to concentrate on less classes.
I mean, you say concentrate on less classes, but you obviously still mentioning 8th scale, which I'm interested in. Is it in the same position it was a year ago, or is there developments behind the scenes, or is it what can you tell us about 8th scale?
8th scale was a big passion for me from COVID times. I asked Schumacher many times, please, can I have an 8th scale? I would like to do some 8th scale. I always loved watching the races, and I've watched 8th scale for a very, very long time. And then they agreed to it finally after some negotiations, and I did some races. We won the Euros in 2023 with a car that yes, it was we used many parts from other brands because for us 8 scale you need to do everything from very scratch. When we do a new car in 10 scale, we can use some parts from different cars. In 8 scale, we have basically nothing. Maybe we can use a ball cup for the steering link in 8 scale, maybe something like that. So it's a really big project, and it started a long time ago, and it's been very successful because I made a podium in Trenčín 2022, then we won in 2023. So it's been a nice experience for me so far. Last year we concentrated on touring car, and but there is a lot of work being done behind the scenes, which the guys at the factory are doing, and they're putting a lot of effort into it. And we want to do more 8 skill in the future. We want to be present in that category. I don't know how much time I will be able to spend on 8 skill, but as we've seen with touring car a few years ago, I would race only 10 scale buggy and maybe a few races per year touring car. Last year, I did maybe 3 or 4 races with 10 scale off-road, maybe a few more, but mainly it was touring car. So this focus shifts, and maybe in a few years I'll race more 8 scale one year. We don't know, but the whole project is advancing every week, every month. They're putting a lot of work into it, and when the outdoor season starts in Europe, I mean, Montpellier is already done, but I can't really go to my local track and practice as it's -3. So, but soon we will get to the track and do some racing this year with Visco.
Where I mean, I know this is all just guesswork, but like if a completed car, and we know from talking with Robin that a car is never complete, really. It's kind of just a moment in time that you have to decide to release it. So if the release version is the 100% model, where would you say roughly the development is? Like, is it 20%, 40%, 60?
I can't say.
He's not going to answer that.
No.
I mean, people are going to want to know. Will I be able to get it for Christmas, or will I have to wait until next Christmas?
I mean, actually, I don't know as well. I've been so busy with traveling and racing, and like you've mentioned, the focus is Australia. But I guess we are preparing for the 8 scale e-buggy World Championships in Portugal, and we want to be present there with a car. What car it will be, I'm not sure, but we want to be present at this race, and we want to put effort into this race to try and challenge for the win.
Well, you'll have the Euros first in Valladolid in Spain, which I don't know if you've raced 10th scale buggy there before.
I don't know if is it the same track as the 10th scale Euros in 2016 and 13.
I think it's modified, but it's been changed, but
it depends on the schedule, because we have ETS races, 10th scale, off-road Euros to prepare for. So I actually don't know what dates the 8 scale Euros are at this time it's usually quite busy with all these outdoor racing starting. So, but we'll take a look at it. At the moment, I'm just thinking one day ahead, and I have even stuff in March and in April I'm not sure about yet. So we'll take it day by day, and hopefully I will be able to do as much 8-scale racing this year as possible.
Will you be in Wiener Neustadt for ETS?
Yes.
Okay. Because I was interested, because obviously...
I need to collect the trophy, obviously.
And they have the nice banquet as well, so... Yeah. But you've won it, but you're still turning up for the final round, which is
of course. I always enjoy ETSs, and it will be a challenge. I'll be going for my 10th consecutive win at ETS.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, that is good.
So I'll work hard to try and get it.
It's a nice round number, 10.
Yes.
10. Yeah, it's 10 scale. Yeah. So next up is TITC, right?
Yes, I'm flying there on Wednesday. In 2 days.
Have you done TITC?
I've never been there. I've never been to Thailand. So I'm really excited to see the country, see the city, meet the people. I watch this race every year, and the crowd is unbelievable. Someone clips a curb and the whole crowd goes crazy. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little nervous because all my competitors, they tell me how difficult this race is, and
that's my tricks.
It's the hardest race ever. But I think
it was the changing humidity during the races that got them before. It's a different season of weather.
And all this practice before, everyone is traveling there a week before, and there's so many cars on the track. It's difficult to learn anything. So
I'm surprised you haven't been before, but then I guess is the focus usually more on 12 scale Euros, and that's why you don't go?
We've never been there because we started to be competitive in touring car at the beginning of 2023. So before that, I would struggle to make A-mains at ETS. So we concentrated on 10 scale off-road. Usually this race would clash with MKGP like it does. This year I'm not able to attend MKGP because I need to fly to Thailand. So we've never done it. I didn't even think of going there because I thought, what's the point? We'll just struggle to make the main. And since we started being competitive, I've been thinking about it. But for the past 2 years, there was an off-road event which we wanted to attend, but we thought it's finally time. We have a car to sell because we had a prototype car for some time, but we released it in May, and now it will be great to go there, try and do our best. I mean, anything can happen. I know Ronald was in the B final 2 years ago, and last year he should have won. So anything can happen, and we'll enjoy it. I'm sure.
I think nobody will be under more pressure than Bruno. Just probably to see what he can do.
Yes, probably he'll be under a lot of pressure. I think from our side, if it goes well, everyone will be surprised how well it went because it's our first time.
It didn't just go well for Michal. He showed up as the TITC rookie and won the whole thing. No doubt with much help from the Schumacher development team and his teammates, plus a few others we might get into at a future time.
If it doesn't go well, they'll say, "Oh, it's their first time, so it's okay." So I'm quite relaxed.
That's kind of what Bruno told us. I mean, we're talking about the e-buggy Euros from a couple years ago. Now do we want to get into this?
Oh yeah, we could so we've obviously talked a little bit about the e-buggy Euros with Burak, that whole situation. Are you happy to talk about that?
Yeah, no problem.
Because I was so surprised that you brought it up in the interview with Patrick at EOS, and then it made me watch it again because every time I saw it, I couldn't decide who was at fault in that race.
Mhm.
Obviously, Burak's reaction kind of took over from everything, and we all forgot about what happened on track because he just lost the plot on the driver's stand, which I forgive him for, I think, because it was, it's frustrating. But like, so what's your take on what happened?
It was a very long time ago, actually. I mean, talking only about the incident, I was racing with Burak for the win. I remember Bruno had TQ, but already before the last final, he didn't have the chance to win because I had a first and second, and Burak had a first in the first final or second, I'm not sure. But basically, it was between me and Burak, and we were racing it was a 10-minute race. I don't remember when it happened, but I think we were racing each other for a good five minutes, I would say, just me and him, because we pulled away from the rest. And yeah, considering this moment only, it was a takeout, obviously, because I ran into the back of him, and it happened. So if I would land on my wheels, I waited for him because I got marshaled first or something like that. I'm not sure. But in terms of the general, because this decided the title, I was sitting behind him and I was trying to make a move. I was clearly faster, as he would be very defensive in many corners, driving a very tight, a very slow line. And I think I remember tapping him a few times, but never really getting him out of shape, always staying behind. But racing for the title at the Euros, obviously I'll not sit behind Burak and wait for a mistake. I will try and find a gap, and I'll stay as close as possible to put pressure under him. And I had the pace to do it because the EFRA referees, because there was this whole argument as the race was finished. I felt sorry because I didn't want to win this way. I wanted to win in a clean fight, and then the EFRA referees came to me and they would show me the lap times we were doing, and they're significantly slower. So watching the video, because I saw it from your material a few days ago, it depends on which angle you look at, but from my memory and what happened at this race, I was trying not to take out Burak. We had a nice fight for a few minutes, and it wasn't like I saw him in front of me and I took him out immediately, because I knew if I take him out, I'll win. Obviously, I knew this before the race, that he needs a result, not me. And then racing him, I was very aggressive. I was trying to find a gap because we were racing for the title. And it is true, I think he was very slow into many corners, and that at the end of that straight, I came in much faster than him. Didn't anticipate how slow he would be there, and I clipped the back of him. We crashed, and this decided the title. But obviously, it wasn't the way I wanted to win. But I know some people were trying to penalize me for doing it on purpose or something like that. But the referees showed me the lap times. I knew what was going on the track, and it wasn't the way I wanted to win, but it happened. And I'm not happy the way it happened, but I'm still proud of the result and that we won this race, the pace we had. And I felt sorry for him because obviously it's a really bad way to lose the race. But there was nothing I could do after. I wouldn't just sit back and let him win the race. And I also don't expect it from my rivals to just sit behind me and just do nothing behind me and just finish the race. If they're faster, they'll try to make a move.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was just sitting very close, and that's my take on it.
I can't see how anyone could think that you would do it on purpose.
That's what I've heard from let's say their side of the story, that I did it on purpose. And But to me, the clean racing, it's I value that a lot. I don't want to be known as an aggressive driver. I know that to win races, you need to be very aggressive, because if you are always the nicest guy on the track, then if you're starting behind someone, they'll be like, oh, he will not take me out. It's easy.
Yeah.
I just stay in front. So you need some situations like that. But yeah, I didn't mean to do it. I still feel, like I said, after US, I still feel sorry about it, the way I won this race. I didn't want to win this race, but it happened.
Did you and him ever discuss it afterwards? Was there ever any talk between you two?
After the race, obviously not, because the atmosphere was very heated.
Yeah.
Their father,
his brother stood, Birkin stood like here, like to keep him away from you.
well,
Like,
I don't remember exactly what was going on. I just remember their father, screaming at me, threatening me when leaving the track after the race. So that
right.
wasn't very
That's
nice,
not good.
and this just hate from the fans of their family and them. But then I kind of forgot about it. I saw a lot of stuff on social media, and obviously I had to look at it, and people had their own opinion. I had an attack on my social media from some fake accounts, or I don't
Oh,
know
really?
if fake accounts or some accounts just spamming on my posts. So it wasn't the best, but it happened, and I just moved forward to the next race. And I remember there was after some time, he would shake hands, say hello, and it would get better. I don't think we ever really spoke about the incident. I mean, I didn't see any reason of that conversation, because I know there's two different sides. If I was in his situation, I would be upset about it. Obviously, I was in my situation, and there's nothing I could say to fix it. It'll always be both sides. And then we had an incident at the 10 scale Euros in practice. It was such a silly thing where I was a lot faster than him. It was just practice. We're just practicing, and I didn't anticipate how much faster I would go into the corner where we're going into. I clipped his rear end. I crashed him in practice. In practice, you're not really not trying to take the person in front of you. You're just trying to do the fastest laps possible, trying to figure out what the car is doing, how to improve your car, and it happened. And then he waited for me one lap and started behind me on the straight and took me out. And then I told him, "What the hell are you doing? It's just practice. I didn't mean to do it. Yes, I ruined his single lap, but there's no point to start all of this again." And then, because I speak German, I can understand. So then their father again started to threaten me after this run. So I think since this incident, which happened again, it's been again not too well. But I know I really enjoy the passion, or I like the passion they have, both Burak, Birkin, and their father. They're extremely passionate about what they're doing and their goals in life. But I also know that it can get very heated from their side, so I just try to stay away. And yeah, at the US, I shook his hand after the race, after he won. And I don't know if if we'll speak or not. I know that when I'm at the race, or when I'm racing other people, I'm not there to make friends. I don't need these drivers to be my friends. They're my competitors. I want to have respect between all of us. This is important to me, to be very respectful to them, and I always wish that they respect me. But from some, it's not the case, and I just I just say, okay, I'll just keep at a distance and do my thing.
Fair play.
Fair
Fair play.
enough.
I don't want to go too much into EOS because I'm sure you're sick of us guys talking about it all the time. But thank you for giving us the message that you sent us. And I wanted to give you an opportunity, if we got anything wrong that we said, for you to be able to kind of respond to what we did in our coverage, and if there was anything that we could have done better, for you to be able to say so.
To be honest, I was quite nervous to watch the 30-minute video about the verdict. I don't remember the way you named it. So I was quite nervous. My girlfriend that watched it because she was really curious. So then she told me kind of in a very like just a few words what was said. And yeah, to be honest, I kind of forgot about all of what happened. As I said, I think on my post or somewhere, there's a race next weekend, and you quickly forget about what happened. There's always the next race. So I'll never forget what happened in forward drive. This hurt me a lot, or maybe not hurt me, but surprised me, and I was so confused and shocked why. But I think the biggest issue and probably the message I wanted to send is about this racing in 10 scale buggy. Now I was at Mibo Sport, and I could actually watch the racing from the side, not be in the final, and I was very glad I wasn't racing because it's such a mess. And even in qualifying, it's just simple stuff like when you crash and then they hold the throttle and keep turning the wheel, try and put themselves on the tires, and the car starts just bouncing around the pipes, jumping onto the other side. And we saw it at EOS almost. I'm not sure if something happened, but there was a car that was like on the roof or trying to get himself back running, and then he jumped onto the straight, and there was almost a big crash. This would happen here a lot, or people making mistakes, and then, or at EOS, people would make a mistake, jump to the other side of the track, and then just wait a tiny moment and continue. Just small stuff like that, which is so unfair, and it happens so much. And I feel like in 10 scale buggy and 8 scale buggy, I don't race 8 scale buggy so much, but watching these races as so much unrespectful racing, I feel like, and a lot of heated arguments, discussions, and so this I don't really enjoy the moment in 10 scale buggy. I'm not sure exactly what's the reason. Mainly these situations, they come from these younger drivers. The next generation after me, I'm 23. I grew up racing against Jona, Daniel. We were battling each other since we were, I mean, it's all started in 2014 in Sweden at the Heroes, where we all made the A main and forward drive. I was 13, Daniel was 9 maybe, Jona was 10 or 11. So we've been racing since then at this top level, but there was this big change of generation in terms of skill off-road, I think, after COVID, and it's been just getting worse and worse. I feel like at races, and obviously I know, and it's what I said before, that you need to be aggressive to win races. You can't just always be the nice guy, and the takeouts happen. Like I took people out, obviously. I don't think a lot. I think I'm quite a clean driver, but obviously I took people out in the past, and stuff would happen also from my side being aggressive. But there are certain drivers where it happens all the time, recently, or it happens very frequently, and I just wish someone could do something about it. I will not find a solution, but I think it is a problem at the moment in 10th scale off-road, and probably some drivers enjoy it or they don't mind it, but to me, racing 10th scale buggy at the moment is not enjoyable. Racing this way, I don't like it. I don't feel the respect that, for example, I feel in touring car. Racing ETS, it's so much fun. These finals, you don't see a lot of takeouts. If obviously something happens, like we saw in Apeldoorn last year with Mark and Akio and Mark and me at the beginning. At the GP3F, there was an incident between Mark and me, and obviously this stuff happens. No one will just
at the worlds there was an incident.
Yes, but at the moment I'm talking about the ETS racing, and so there is a lot of respect, I feel like, from most of the drivers in touring car, and I really enjoy this kind of racing, and it is aggressive, but it is respectful, and then we talk about it. In 10th scale buggy, there's screaming, shouting from the mechanics, from the drivers, taking everyone out, cutting the track, arguments after. It's I think it's really bad, but I will not find a solution to it. But at the moment it's not.
Is that something that you've approached the race organizers or any race officials about to say, hey, you know, me and a couple other drivers, or me and my team, or whatever, you know, we think that this, and hopefully you can do that, or anything like that?
I think the problem starts with the, let's say, team managers or people managing their drivers, because if they promote this kind of racing, or they don't actually say, look, this was wrong what you did, then these drivers will just continue doing it. The referee or referees, they're very limited to what they can do. Let's say at the Euros there is a referee, and they've penalized people for stuff which I think was correct, but at many races we don't have these referees. And at Mibo Sport there was a referee, and they've called some stuff they didn't, but many incidents they're not really like a clean takeout or like a clear takeout. So someone drives in the back of someone, takes them out. There are certain situations on the track where there's, let's say, a small gap opening, and the driver behind, all he cares about is going into this gap, and doesn't matter what happens with the other car. They just go for it, and let's say the car bounces off the track or something like that, and then they say it was a clean pass because there was a gap. Yes, there was a gap, but this gap was increased because of that driver going in there. And like in F1, they can't touch each other because there's a risk of life and damage to their own car. Here, with open wheel racing, they just drive over each other, and that's it. There is certain racing strategies where you tap always the car in front. You tap him. Obviously, it puts you out of your rhythm, and then the guy in front makes a mistake. Let's say you tap him in a corner before the jump. You wait for him to continue, and then he crashes on that jump. And then
I didn't know. These are good tips you're sharing with us.
I mean, it's not tips, but it's a way of driving and racing from some people at the moment in 10th scale buggy, which I absolutely hate this kind of stuff.
It's a very old school touring car sort of thing. It's like using the cars in front of you as the bumper going into a turn, and you knock them off the line.
Exactly. And I know this happens. Obviously, you touch the car in front, but if it happens so regularly, or let's say 3 or 4 times in one run, obviously it's not it's not just I don't know, a mistake or something like that. It's obviously the strategy or the strategy to race and win, which I think is not correct. I don't think that's the way to race. As I said, takeouts happen. It happened to me. I've took people out. I've clipped some people from the back. And but if it happens so often from many different drivers, I think it's not the way to go. I don't think it's clean racing. When I race people, I always try not to hit them. I'm just trying to find a gap to pass.
Yeah.
But I think some drivers, they're doing it on purpose to try and put the driver in front out of rhythm and then take advantage of it. And I think this comes down to the team managers or just parents, people managing these drivers, to say to them, this is not the way to race. But from a referee's point of view, someone topped the guy in front many times, but then the guy made the mistake himself. So then the referee says, okay, it was clean, because he didn't take him out and then pass him. He tapped him many times because he was faster, for example, and then the guy in front made a mistake. So
do you try and talk to the other members of your team, or other drivers that you sponsor and mentor, however that happens to?
Yeah, there was. I actually on Sunday I had a conversation with one of the drivers that I'm really close with, and the whole family, and there were some incidents on the track, which some of them I saw by myself, some of them I heard from other people, some I saw on video, but in general I heard from quite a few people some negative stuff about his way of racing, his driving or racing style, not racing style. And I had a conversation that he should be more careful, because he might lose the respect of his competitors, and it's the driver's decision whether he wants to win at any cost, and it doesn't matter what the people watching and other competitors think of him, or he wants to be respected by the others but still try and win. And I always tried to keep this balance where obviously I'll win, but not at any cost. I want to win in a clean way, but I know I need to be aggressive, and I've been working on that to try and be more aggressive, because I thought it was the next step to try and be more successful. But I value the respect from the competitors and the fans and people watching a lot. And sometimes, to me, coming second, but knowing that someone won in the wrong way, or someone took the win away from us because of this kind of dirty racing, means more than just winning the race by racing this way or taking someone out or something like that.
I feel like this comes from the top down, like, because obviously we know Schumacher well, and I feel like this courtesy and respect is like a team atmosphere that you come to expect from Schumacher as a whole, like certain way of conducting yourself.
Yes, it comes from top, not always from the team, but from the parents, from mentors, from also from, of course, the race directors, referees. But like I said, they're limited to what they can do in that certain situation. But the most important is from the team and mentors and team managers. And if they promote this kind of driving and they don't see anything wrong with it, it will continue, and it will be even worse, because in a situation like now, where this is kind of the racing standard at the moment, if I try to race cleanly, then I'll probably never win, unless we have a really big pace advantage and just pull away. But as we saw in forward drive, I didn't have a chance to do that because I was taken out in the first lap, or literally the second and third corner or something like that. So
do you feel like X-Ray as a team are a little bit on the aggressive side, just as a team vibe, in the way that Schumacher are very not that way? Do you feel like X-Ray are?
I didn't like the way some people commented, and they connected the drivers' doings on the track with the team.
Okay.
I think X-Ray has they have a tendency from all the other teams to blame their drivers immediately. So if someone has an X-Ray hoodie, immediately he is a bad guy from anyone apart from X-Ray. And this is it's not fair to the drivers, because I know many drivers in that team that are extremely respectful, clean racers, very nice people off the track, and I think it's not fair towards them to judge them just by the team they're racing for. But like I said, it comes from above. It comes from the team managers. So I don't think there is inside X-Ray that it is win at any cost, take people out, be the most aggressive driver, and just please win the race for us. I don't think it's that way. I think they also value clean racing, as I know from the incidents at EOS. I will not go into details, but from the team side, I was talked to and after the race, and I understood, and I knew already during the finals that it wasn't like some people said that it was a team play, that they took me out to let their team win. I knew it wasn't that. It was the drivers doing, and I don't like the way X-Ray drivers are immediately connected to this bad behavior and unrespectful driving, and just judging their drivers because of this brand. But it is true that in the whole of the industry, and let's say the categories that I'm racing in, from the people apart from that team, there is a direct people are very judgmental towards the drivers of that team. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's, like I said, inside the team, the managers or the people at the top are teaching their drivers this kind of racing.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
there's a lot of risk in actually trying to do something where it's like a systemic, okay, team. We're the team that hacks over all the other teams.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
one sense, you and David are on the same team because you're both with Team Coyote.
Yeah.
And obviously Oscar was there. Did
Yeah.
he say any words to you after the race?
Yes, he came to me, but I was I was in a very good state of mind the moments
Right.
after A3. So he wanted to speak to me, but I wasn't ready yet. So I don't know. I haven't spoken to Coyote about it. In our industry, yes, we're teammates for our batteries, but we don't really work together. So, I mean,
No.
if it was a Schumacher driver doing something like this, then obviously it would be talked about, and
Yeah.
people and guys at the top in our company and our managers, and they would bring it up. If not, I would obviously bring it up. But as a battery teammates, it's not as meaningful as chassis teammates or
yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that. So I think it
You-
wasn't. It's not up to Coyote to solve this
No.
problem.
Yeah.
And they
You're-
spoke to me after the race, and they had a lot of respect for my result and what I've done that weekend.
You're both going to be at TITC. David's going to be there. Are you going to say hello?
Probably not. I mean, like I said, I was in utter shock what he did.
Yeah.
And I saw what people think about it, and I know that, for example, talking about A3, obviously I jumped a little far, but it's not like I made a big mistake. I came back from the other side of the track and run into to David. I was in front, and he literally drove over my car in A2 and A3 on the second lap. And in A1, I started. I pulled away. There wasn't any problem. In A2 and A3, from the very first corner, I felt like all he was trying to do is take me out. He was really close to me in the first corner. Then on the jump section in A2, he drove over my car, and there wasn't a gap. It wasn't like, I don't know how he was planning to make the corner. He was literally on the pipe. And in A3, he was really close to take me out in the first corner on that jump again. And like I've mentioned before, if you tap someone or like do something to put him out of his rhythm, then stuff like this can happen. And I jumped this jump a little too far, but him being in second, he cannot just go his qualifying pace. Like, there's nothing in front of him. He needs to be careful of the leader. Try and not. I mean, he can do what he wants, but that's what I would do. I like, if I know that, for example, making a pass on lap 1, it's my only chance to win the race. Then I'll be aggressive from the very first corner. But I'll try not to take the person out. And I didn't want to watch the videos, but I looked for the comments, and there was an angle where from next to the track where he just drives over my car, which to me shows that he wasn't really on the brakes. If he was on the brakes, the car wouldn't drive over me. So I'm really confused why he did that in both of the finals on not even one lap. I mean, it was literally 2 or 3 corners. I don't get it. And then I don't want to go into so many details because I kind of forgot about it. But the post he made, someone showed me, and him doing that on the track to me, and basically taking the win away from me, my sponsors, his sponsor as well, his battery sponsor. And then on his Facebook post talking about my attitude after A2 and basically trying to play the victim in that situation, to me it was crazy. And then he sent me a message on Tuesday that he wanted to talk to me. So I thought it's I mean, I'm really in shock now. I kind of came back to these feelings, and I'm really in shock why, and because I really respected him before. We had a nice chat at EOS even. I don't know, on Friday or something like that, and I was at his track testing and racing some years ago, and something like this happened. This pure desperation of I don't know what. So I don't think I will. Like I said before, I'm not here to make friends with my competitors. I want to be respected by them. I want to show respect to them, but I feel like I've shown respect to him. But it's after this weekend, or what happened this weekend, shows me that there's no respect the other way. So I don't think I'll say hello.
I just hope that it takes a bit more time, and maybe he can be a bit more wise with his words. I really hope that. And for me, the best thing that could come out of TITC would be a selfie of you two guys. I think that would break the internet, and I think it would be really nice because it would show people we can go through all of this and we can figure it out. And I really think that can happen. And David was in hospital just before this. Maybe we can put some of it down to that.
Well, it is true. It would be probably a very popular post. So
yeah, and it would be so positive as well. It'd be no hate anymore, and it would just own the story. we put this to bed, and David was an idiot, and he didn't respond in the right way after. And I said this in our show, that is how David reacted to the
what
incident.
did you say?
It wasn't. I said
maybe I
my
need
whole
to watch
point-
it then. Maybe I need to
you
watch
need
it.
to watch it. I ruled in your favor. Frank didn't, but I
No.
said.
How could you?
But seriously, I think there's so much to learn about how to conduct yourself after a race when things go wrong. You can really, like, for instance, when you ended Hagberg's reign of 1/12, and one of my favorite people inside of EFRA, Javier Garcia, was the referee, and he was kind of fundamental to ending Hagberg's reign. But obviously your speed was fundamental as well, and skills. But then you guys both came on a podcast, and Hagberg sat there, and I just thought, I have so much respect for this guy. He just sits there, and we all just congratulating you on him losing after 8 years or however many years. And I just thought, I'm more likely to follow Hagberg now after losing and having such a good attitude. I just think that is the attitude of a winner, and it was such a nice thing. And I continue to hope that there will be a picture for TITC.
You know what? I think you convinced me. My mom,
Yes.
my mom, my girlfriend, they all try and convince me to kind of be this way, and I thought, no way, because I felt completely disrespected by him in that situation on both occasions, because I understand if it happens in A2. It's okay. I know probably he knew, okay, this is his only chance. If not, I'll pull away, or I don't know what was the reasoning behind. So I understand. It happened in A2. I've taken people out. It was crazy on the first lap. He was basically on the pile, but okay, it was a mistake. No problem. But what happened in A3, it was too much for me, and then I was behind Burak. I tried to race cleanly. I didn't want to do anything crazy. I still tried to make a pass because I was racing with Burak for the win. And then I clipped Burak's tire and I bounced off, and then David went into second. And for 1 minute we just stood there. He didn't even try to race Burak where he was racing for the podium. David still could have made a podium. And I just felt completely disrespected, and that's why I didn't show respect to him afterwards. But yeah, the selfie will break the internet. So, but I mean, depends if David is up for it. But I think I will not understand, and like I said before, I'll for sure not forget what happened. But yeah, maybe shake hands, take a selfie, and then move on. But yeah,
that's
still
the
don't
whole
understand.
That was the whole concept of the video that we did, the beef history. So we get it out, and then it's in the rearview mirror. It's behind us now, and we move on. And to be fair, you had already. You had said, yeah, I don't want to dwell on it. I don't want to. I can't even remember it. But then, as you were talking about it, you did remember the bits.
Yes.
So you had already kind of put it behind you, really.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like you got another race next week.
Yeah.
I have another race after that.
Yeah.
We can't go on like constantly go. Oh yeah. Every time you're on the driver's stand with them.
That's for sure. Yeah, it's. I mean, I basically forgot about the US already. I'm looking forward to TITC and other races, but there are just certain drivers on the grid that you feel their respect both ways.
Yeah.
And there are some that you don't feel their respect both ways. And yes, I will shake hands with them. Let's say at the track, or like say hello, but I will always know what kind of driver they are, because I mean, many drivers, they're like a really nice person off the track, or they seem to be, but then on the track stuff like this happens. So I will always know what the real person is, and like I said, I'll not forget that. But
Okay.
shake hands and be respectful in this way, then of course it's every one of us should do that.
Well, the good news is, unless you've been living under a rock, you will have seen the selfie. It did happen, thanks to Nicole at Red RC, and of course, David Ronefalk and Michal Orlowski for being the guys they are. And moving on, hooray, hooray for the selfie.
Michael, we asked you for an hour of your time and you've given us more than that. And I feel like this is to be continued. And we would love to talk to you again after ETS. I mean, we'll see you at TITC.
I'm fine
I'd like
to
talk to you
continue
again after TITC.
if you guys have time.
Well, you have your podcast.
I have a few quick bombshell questions to
like a lightning round.
Lightning round, yeah. Okay. So
but is it a yes or no or?
No, it's just quick answers. You can say pass if you want, but just the quick answers that come to your mind. If you can only win one race this year, what will it be?
Worlds in Australia, Tour Drive.
Two-wheel
no,
drive.
Doesn't matter.
No.
Worlds in Australia.
Who is the greatest overall RC racer of all time?
I cannot say myself, right?
Well, I have another question that says, who is the greatest overall RC racer of today?
Okay, all time, it's so hard. Pure talent, Mark.
Okay.
Pure talent, but you said it was a quick fire.
I didn't say it was easy.
Let's say Mark. I think pure talent, for sure. Not the work he puts in. He's known to be very relaxed, but sometimes I spend more time with him recently, and sometimes he shocks me so much because we go testing somewhere together. He's a lot slower than me, and then he doesn't do anything. We come to the race, and suddenly he's so fast, and I'm like, how? I've worked so hard, and then he's so fast, just doing nothing. And he won 5 worlds.
And another Euros now.
Yeah, he won the Euros last year. Let's say Mark. All time. At the moment, I will say myself.
Okay.
Because what was the question?
Yeah.
Overall. At the moment, overall?
Yeah.
I'll say myself.
1 million euros to never touch an RC car again. Deal or no deal?
I saw that question.
Deal or no deal?
No deal.
Oh, wow.
Really?
No deal.
Okay. I said we get mixed when
I
we
saw
ask people.
Yil said yes. I was like, oh,
He said
come
yes.
on.
Yeah.
No. I mean...
Interestingly, Yil said yes. Bruno said no. Ronefalk said yes. So Ronefalk said he would leave for $1 million euros.
After EOS, I'm not surprised.
I mean, RC Racing TV or Live RC?
RC Racing TV.
Yeah. Name one other driver you've had beef with, but it can't be Kilic and it can't be Ronefalk.
Marcus. Carup.
Okay. Great. Racing in USA or Asia?
Asia.
Carpet or dirt?
Dirt.
Carpet or tarmac?
Tarmac.
Okay. Yeah.
Good
Cool.
stuff.
And if you want to swap 12th for 8th, I'm guessing.
I want to do everything, so I don't want to swap. But I guess in some situations I'll have to, let's say, not do some races. But I don't want to completely cancel a class. I want to do 12 scale, 10 scale, on-road, off-road, and 8 scale buggy.
Michael, it's been amazing talking to you. You are an amazing champion, and it's not just about the track; it's about your attitude and what you do for the industry and the other races around you. So, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
Good luck in Thailand.
Yeah, thank you. It will be
We'll
quite
be watching.
warm, I think.
No pressure.
There. No.
Yeah.
Of course, there's always some pressure. A lot of time, money is being invested into all these trips, so there's always pressure. But it's what makes me feel alive. this pressure when you stand on the driver's stand, go into a race. It's a really nice kick of adrenaline.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Thanks for your time, Michael.
Can we talk to you after you come back?
Yeah.
Yeah, talk to you again when you come back.
Awesome. Okay.
Amazing.
Always.
All right.
Cool.
Thanks, Michal.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See ya.
Cool.
Hey there, we can't believe it, but you've made it to the secret after show.
Yes! First, we want to honor our heroes.
And for everyone else, we don't want to say goodbye. We want you to join us.
Yeah, if you want us to be able to keep making this content and coverage, there's a few ways that you can help.
Yeah, first and most importantly, you can hit subscribe.
Then, if you really want to support us, you can become an RCTV Hero by joining the channel. Click join down below on YouTube, and the link for that is also in the description.
If you want to rep RCTV, then go to rcracingtv.com and buy some merch.
Finally, if you want to help us just keep the lights on, then you can buy us a coffee right here.
Right down there, or in person if we bump into you at the track.
Now, if you're still watching after all that, then it's time to pick your next clip. I would say the top one.
No, I think this one is way more their speed. I think this is the one that they'll like.
Okay. Well, either way, thanks and goodbye.